What's good, everybody? It's your boy O'Shea Duke Jackson back at it again with another episode of Fair Use, and I got my struggle t-shirt on today, so we're gonna have a good show. I'm reviewing my good buddy of mine's mediocre tutorials and reviews. Check him out, the first comment at the top, and he has a video that he posted a few days ago called "Why I'm Leaving the Manosphere." You know we got to get into this, so guys, let's get into the video.
But anyway, here's what I wanted to talk to you guys about today. Who is your starting five? Who are the people that you can rely on at a moment's notice if the going gets tough, if your back's up against the wall, if you feel like you got pushed off of a cliff with no grappling hook in your utility belt, so to speak, right? Who's your starting five? Who are those people that you can depend on if you have to make a call at 3:30 in the morning? Who are those people? Have you identified those people? Have you built relationships with them deep enough where they felt they can do the same with you? Or do you live in forever acquaintances? See, there's some pros and there's some cons regarding deep connection, deep relationship.
Let me stop right there. You're making some pretty good, interesting points. I haven't watched this video, but I'm pretty sure I know where it's going to this phase because I left the Black Manosphere a few days ago. Let me tell you this. A lot of us, when we join these spaces that are for men's rights or things being unfair to men, a lot of times you come into spaces, sometimes with guys that you would never can hang around ever again in your life, like in real life. This guy's an MBA. I went to medical school. Some of us have law degrees. And online, you might be hanging out with people who might not necessarily be in the same level as you in certain aspects. Doesn't make him a bad person, but it's just true, right? And so what can happen because, you know, that person's going through child support or that person's going through something in life in the system and you're both black. Oh, you know what? Like, man, this guy is a cool guy. He's saying some of the same thing I'm saying. And then what happens is that, you know, you think that they're your friend, right? Well, we're going to find out that a lot of shit that's going on in the manosphere, white or black, a lot of it has to do with relationships with people that are the creators themselves. And that's probably where we're getting to in this video. I'm not sure, but let's go.
Building a starting five. As opposed to living in forever acquaintances. And let me tell you about a couple of those. I'll start with forever acquaintances. I love forever acquaintances, right? A lot of people want to talk shit just on having fly-by-night type of friends, but having fly-by-night type of friends can be fun. You know, these are the friends that always knows what's happening within the city. They always got the shit that's popping off. Shit, they might even invite you to a trip out the country, you know what I'm saying? Popping bottles, living free. These are the highlight components of life, but you know, you never really talk about life with them. You never build deep, you know, relationships. You never go beyond the surface level of interaction with them, but they can be fun to be around. But you'll often find that you'll look back on photos and the fly-by-night friends are not with you as you enter into different stages of life. I think it's safe for me to say that I have completely entered a different stage of life. I've talked about it on the channel.
Let's start the show. Different stages of life. And I'm going to tell you where the manosphere has a problem in both the manosphere proper and the black manosphere communities. When you come in, you're kind of all at the same level. And a lot of the guys that you meet here, yeah, they are your acquaintances, okay? Won't call any names, but they're your acquaintances. And fly-by-night type of friends. And people serve a reason a lot of times in your life. But as you start to get and matriculate through the space, and don't get me wrong, women have issues too. And that's what I thought when I initially started here. Like, well, you know, the problem with the black community is that, you know, like black women, they've been so socialized that they are against black, some of them are against black men. And that's the real problem. And black men need to have a voice about that. There is certain truths to that. But do you know what the real truth about an any men's movement? The biggest enemy to men, white or black, are men themselves. Okay? And what happens is that you have one group of men who forever want to stay the same. They're cool to be around. They're fun to be around. But those guys are fundamentally not builders. They have no idea of how to work with people or do anything like that. And then once another group of guys, they're like, wait a minute, you guys are really not that serious. We want to do something a little bit different. Expand ourselves, expand our horizons, go into different markets. You know, for the, you know, if in the whole community benefits from that, right? When you get people that expand the message. Others are upset about that. And those acquaintances become enemies simply because you're moving up in life. And I'm going to tell you, that's the real issue that we're having here in the Manosphere. The guys that are leaving in both sectors, white or black, is because you have guys who are doing a lot better and going to other different places, have realized that, hey, maybe the biggest problem in here is not black women or women in general. We have a lot of problems with men and jealousy. Let's go.
Not a lot. I've probably mentioned it a couple of times in the sense of, not really banging with my Fridays and Saturday nights anymore. But like I look forward to my mornings, and just working on my purpose, working to optimize things that I see wrong with the channel and, front end, back end, like all of those kind of things. And I feel really accomplished when I'm crossing things off of my checklist. The thing is that this type of lifestyle is not the fly by night lifestyle, but, a large component of my 20s, I did live a fly by night lifestyle. I think every stage of life has a particular purpose, but you can evolve through it. Some people never leave the fly by night cycle. To each their own. It's not for me anymore. Anyway, picking a starting five, solidifying who these amazing people within your life, it's very rewarding. However, it can also be very taxing as well. Because if you do not select correctly, or if you let someone into your proverbial inner circle before that they have been properly vetted, these are the people that can bring you down into the abyss as well.
Without saying any names, we all know what he's talking about. It could be somebody in your personal life. You don't have to say any names either. I don't want to live the fly-by-night lifestyle. I'm looking for something a little bit more meaningful. And as content creators, you're only as good as the meaningful relationships that you have with other creators that have influence in the space. Now, do we make mistakes? Do people make errors and judgments against one another? Absolutely, but there's a decorum in the way to handle things, okay? And now, once you start letting people into your space who, because you're doing well as a creator, those people can turn on you. Those people will turn on you. And what happens is that when you notice that, especially in the era of clout, it's like, okay, we came here to address men's issues, but then now the issues we're having are with content creators. Like, hey, MTR doesn't even beef with guys. Go look at the videos people are making about him. Kevin Samuels, the same thing. All right. What do people come? We came here to do is talk about men's issues to bring light to it. We're content creators, some of the best in the business. But then what you see is you're only really as good as the people around you. And when you have bad relationships with people around you, and I'm not saying that they do, but this is what's happening. It's not women that are creating these issues. These are men creating these issues.
These are the ones that, when they talk to you, it's more negative than positive.
Hello.
These are the ones that, make it to a certain stage in life and forego developing.
Hello.
These are the ones that seem to bring you more challenges regarding your decisions as opposed to solutions. Those.
Boom. That's a rat. Okay. And I will never hate on the Black Manosphere community, but I mean, in all sectors of the Manosphere, and I kind of see what's going on in the Manosphere proper sector. Like you have, and again, this is not women that are doing this. You have people that want to be solution oriented, in the problems, work with a lot of guys. I work with tons of creators, and not all of them are what he's saying. But when it comes to the point that you have this, it's like, okay, I have the talent, I have the infrastructure. Why am I dealing with this? And just like in the black community, the people who perform better are going to have an opportunity to go different places. And again, that's what you're seeing right now. You're seeing the guys that can say, you know what, let me just take my ball and go home, because there's too much of this kind of, Negro stuff going on here. That's what you're seeing.
But if you do your due diligence to understand, the different personality traits of those that you put within your starting five, then those can be the most rewarding experiences. I've also said this on the channel as well, is that when I consider joy and happiness, I really think that the human condition considers the amount of people within your life that you love and can honestly say that love you back. Deep quality relationships. I'd rather have 5 people of deep quality relationships than 100 acquaintances. Here's the reason why I bring all this up in the context of me having a bad day yesterday. Just keep this in mind as you are creating friendships throughout your life, is that when everything is going good, it's high time for your acquaintances. But when things are not so good, the acquaintances will slowly shift to the back. And the times that are not so good are really the times that define you as a human being. But guess what? When times are bad, your starting 5 are the ones that will help push you through.
Now, he never mentioned Manosphere in that video at all. But we're living online. Let's just be honest with us. The name of the video is called Why Movie Manosphere. But you meet a lot of guys here on the internet. These guys don't know you. Don't give a shit about you. Don't care if you live or die. And when you're new to the internet, you don't really know that. But on the YouTube space, you have very few people that are really your friends in life in general. People that are really solid people. And in the Manosphere, in both black and white, you're dealing with a lot of people who just are not good people in the content creator community. It sucks for the subscribers, but this is where we're at. And I understand exactly what he's saying. I've talked to him, well, not when he put this video out, but I've talked to him before. He's a really nice guy. He's a really genuine hearted guy. He's a guy with a lot of integrity. And what happens is that a lot of men in the Manosphere community are looking for value. Creators leave because of the issues that happen between creators. And that's something that I hope that can be rectified in both communities, the greater Manosphere proper and the black Manosphere. But this is why people are leaving. Okay, this is why I left. And I'm not saying I'm perfect or even he's perfect, but this is what happens. Okay, in this space, you guys have seen it. You guys can look on live streams night after night, and you can see the bickering and the fighting and the arguing between people. And then you see that, hey, listen, oh, this guy is turning information on the other guy. He's flipping on the other guy. I'm just saying, it's just like, it's like the streets. It's like the dope game or something like that. But guys, what do you think? Shout out to MTR. Check him out. First come at the top. And as you know, the buffoonery remains at all-time high. Shout out to Quasi for the edits. I'm out.